Good afternoon and welcome. Glad to see you all here today. So, we're going to repeat last week's show where we had a problem with the audio being muted when I was on a keynote slide. So, not sure how that setting got changed, but it's fixed now. So, we're going to redo last week. So, let's get started. This is the iOS lock screen make good edition. So that's a term that I picked up in the broadcast industry. When a commercial doesn't run properly, we do a make good. So we are making good on last week. So this is the Go for Lunch for February 21st, 2023, brought to you by GoFor Technology. I'm your host, Roger Harmon, and if you're new here, please type new in the comments so we can welcome you to our community. And we are here to make your technology work for you. And this is our President's Day edition of Go for Lunch, as well as our La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo edition. So in that tradition, we're going to get back up on the horse that threw us last week and talk about the iOS lock screen, hopefully with audio all the way through. So I will probably check every once in a while to see if there's any comments. So I'm not seeing any now, so it looks like we're good to go. So let's start with the basics. The lock screen is what you see when your iPhone is locked, logically enough. So iOS 16 features many ways that you can customize the lock screen and make it your very own, give you some extra functionality that you may not be enjoying at the moment. So in order to do that, you have to have iOS 16, and to do that, you have to have an iPhone, starting with the iPhone 8 up through the iPhone 14. Now, in my research, some people were complaining that they couldn't get some features to work. So if you have an older iPhone and something we showed today didn't work, then it's not about you, it's about your iPhone. And these things do not work on the iPad yet. So here's a list of the phones that iOS 16 will work on. So in other words, it's any phone that was released in 2017 or later. So how do you customize your lock screen? Well, you tap and hold the lock screen, then you tap Customize at the bottom, and you can customize your current wallpaper, or you can add a new wallpaper. So let's go to the Inspecto Cam and see how that works. So now our iPhone is off. We tap it, we hold it down, and now we get into the Customize button here is at the bottom. We touch that, and now we can customize the lock screen. Or let's go back here one time, get customize again, or we can customize the home screen. We will talk about customizing the home screen another time. So we're going to touch the existing lock screen, and there's 4 areas that we can customize. There's the top area here, which you see has the day and the date and the wind, 6 miles per hour from the west, has the current time, has an area to add widgets, and then this 4th area is where you can change the background picture. So you tap each of these sections to modify them. And when you change the color here on the time, it changes the color also on the top section. So here we have the time. We have 8 different fonts we can use. Just simply touch those to change the font. And then you can change the color down here. You have different colors that you can choose. And then once you choose a color, you can adjust the hue with this slider at the very bottom. And then if you scroll all the way over to the end of the colors here on the right, you can get into the color grid, the color spectrum, and then you can really fine tune it here with the sliders and adjust the different RGB, red, green, blue colors. You also, if you have a hex color number, you can type that in and get an exact color that you want. And then these are colors down here on the bottom that you can just choose. And then the plus sign allows you to have a customized color and just add that color. So that's the way that works. So let's review that. So there's 4 areas to customize. You can tap on each section to modify it. You can change the color and the font for the time, which also changes the color and the font for the top section. And you can choose widgets. So let's go in and show you how that works. So here we have the top section. At the very top, it says Tuesday 21. There's a little wind icon and then the actual wind speed and direction, 6 miles per hour from the west. So then when you tap on that, then you get to choose other information that can go in that top section. So right now we have the wind. These are suggestions here at the top. Those are all repeated down below. We can have the day and the date. We can have our next event. Reminder that the T-Mug meeting is tonight starting at 6 o'clock. The link is in the GoFor Gazette, which you received at 7 o'clock Monday morning. We can choose a time, and then if we click on the time, and this is Cupertino, if we click on that, then we can search for a time anywhere we want. So if we put in New York, we can put in the time in New York City. Then we also can get information from Facebook, from the fitness app, the health app, Overcast. So Overcast is a third-party podcast app, so some third-party developers support this. From reminders, Snapchat, stocks. Tempest is a weather station app. Waterminder, haven't tracked my hydration today. And then in weather, we have lots of different choices here. We can put in a different location. So here's the Tucson. And you can see it has a little cloud with a little rain symbol there. But if we we tap on that, it doesn't change. So I guess we have to change that in the weather app. So we can put in the temperature, which we have there. It takes a few seconds for it to come in. So it's raining now, it says here. So that's the conditions. We have the UV index, sunrise and sunset. So sunset is at 6:15. We have the phases of the moon. So it's a new moon today. And it's raining now, which I guess is 100% chance of precipitation. And then we have air quality index at the bottom. So to get out of here, we hit the little X next to choose widget. And then we have the third section, which is add widgets. So we tap on that and we get a selection of widgets that we can add. So these are featured widgets here on the top. So there's 2 kinds of widgets. There's one that is a half size, and then there's quarter size. So obviously we can go with 2 of the half size and up to 4 of the quarter size, or 1 half size and 2 quarter size. So let's go with the world time here. So now it's hard to read here in the edit mode, but when you get through editing, that gray background goes away, so don't worry about that. So it's telling us that the time in Cupertino is minus 1 hour from our local time. Time in Tokyo is plus 16 hours. Time in Sydney, Australia is plus 18 hours. And then we could choose a couple of other widgets here. Here's one that shows the charge on my Apple Watch. And here's one that shows my activity rings. So now when I hit the X to get out of the add widgets, you can see that the gray background goes away and these become legible. So that's how that works. So again, to review, the top section is defaulting as the day and the date. You can change that. The second section is the time. You can't change that. And then you can add widgets to the third section. And then you can also select a filter on the bottom. So on the bottom here, you can see where it says natural. If I swipe to the left, I get black and white, duotone, and color wash. And then you can hit the little circle in the lower right hand corner, hit style color, and you can change that color wash to whatever you want, as long as there's a color there. There's no choice here to choose any color. You have to choose any of these colors that are shown here. So again, same thing on the duotone. On the black and white, of course, there's no choice there. And now we're back to natural. So in the lower right hand corner is a circle with 3 dots, and you have 2 choices there: show photo in library, which does just that. It doesn't select a photo, it just shows a photo. And then you can turn on depth effect, which we will demonstrate here in just a second. So we're going to touch the circle in the lower right with the 3 dots, and you can see here show photo in library. But then when we do that, it will not add that photo. We'll show you how to do that. And it also gets you out of the customized mode. So to get back in the customized mode, we have to swipe up to the home screen. You can see here on the home screen we've got rain in the background. So to get back to customizing the lock screen, we have to turn off the iPhone, tap it, Face ID worked, and hold it down again, and then hit customize again, and hit lock screen on the left. Okay, and now we're customizing it. So it looks like it's really raining out there. Okay, so now we're going to hit cancel. So now we are in the customize mode. We can select which lock screen we want to customize. So we can scroll. So I have some different lock screens here that I've already done. And as I mentioned, you can have up to 9. So now we're going to hit customize again, lock screen again, and now we're going to hit cancel. We're going to scroll over here to add new. So when you scroll all the way over to the end, you hit the plus sign, and now you can add a new. So this is kind of duplicated here on the top. You can do photos, people, photo shuffle, emojis, weather, astronomy, and color. Then down below here we have featured. So these are things that the system has picked out for us. They've also picked out suggested photos. Photo shuffle we'll talk about in a second. Weather and astronomy, unity, emojis, collections, and then colors. So let's talk about photo shuffle. So we can either use the featured on the left or nature on the right. So let's hit nature. Then we have choices of whether we want to add pets and people to that. So you can have any combination of those three, pets, people, and nature. We can also adjust the frequency. So we can have it hourly, daily, every time the screen locks, or you can tap the screen to change it. So then at the bottom here, to activate it, we hit use featured photos, and then we have that same style that we can use. And as we tap down here where it says tap to preview, it automatically goes through the nature photos that it selected out of my photo library. So that's the way that works. So let's talk about depth effect. So let's go up here to suggested photos, and there's the one I want. So here's a German Shepherd with the big ears. So the depth effect is, you can see how the ears are covering the time. So if I make the ears bigger, the time takes over. If I make them smaller, then you get the depth effect. So if we hit the circle in the lower right hand corner, you can see depth effect is checked. If I uncheck it, now the time is on top. If I recheck it, now you get the depth effect with the ears covering the time. So that's kind of a neat effect. So if we want to add that to our screens, we can just hit the add in the upper right hand corner, and then we get the choice of selecting whether we want to set it as a wallpaper or we want to customize the home screen. So we're going to hit wallpaper, and now we've added that to our collection of wallpapers. So the emoji is kind of interesting. So here we have some choices. We have a small grid, we have a medium grid, a large grid, rings, and spiral. And then we can hit the smiley face emoji at the lower left-hand corner, and then we can adjust the emoji. So if we hit the backspace in the lower right-hand corner, we can get rid of those emojis. And let's say we want to do a duck and an eagle and an owl and a bat. So then there they are in the spiral, in the circle, in the large grid, medium grid, small grid. So that's kind of interesting, how to do the emojis. Okay. So again, to add a new wallpaper, you swipe all the way to the left. You hit the plus symbol, and then you can add content to that fourth area. And you can have up to 9 different lock screens. So you can add pictures from photos, and you do that in the lower left-hand corner. Excuse me. So we can go here and we just, oh, lightning has been detected 11.2 miles from my location. My do not disturb is not working. So I'm holding down on the lock screen, getting back to customize the lock screen, and then I hit cancel to scroll back to wherever I want to go. So as we demonstrated, you can pinch to so we hit customize lock screen. I can pinch to, you can see the depth effect working there with the ear over the time. And to add a picture, I hit in the lower right hand corner. Then I can add a picture and pinch to adjust. So basically you can't get it less than full screen. You see when I try to get it less than full screen, you can see the black at the top of the screen. When I let go, it goes back to full screen, but you can make it bigger. Just can't make it smaller than full screen. If you haven't already, please make sure and subscribe and then click that little bell, and you will be notified when we go live. And also give us a thumbs up, give us a like. That helps YouTube show this to other people. Questions, and Leslie Ann answered her own question, and she likes the photo shuffle, so you can get some variety in the many pictures that she's taken around the world. So that's great. And so I think the sound is okay. The sound is off, sound is back on. Hopefully the sound is back now. If you're not hearing me, please let me know. According to this, okay. So I don't know, I guess it muted when I went to the subscribe. So I thought I'd check that, but it's doing weird things. There's been a bunch of updates to my eCam software, so maybe the updates are changing settings on me. I don't know. So again, I encourage you to try this out, and you can really customize your lock screen and have information there at a glance without even unlocking your phone. You might be able to find out what you wanted to find out. So it makes everything convenient and more efficient by customizing your lock screen with that information that's most important to you. So if there's no more questions, thank you all for coming back with me today, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay dry, and we will see you next week. And of course, as always, if you have any questions in the meantime, you can email me or call me, and that information is coming up right now. Take care.